Lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, we all have an inclination to the epitome of love. When we rejoice, when times are hard, whatever stage of life we are in, we all yearn to be in one special place. We all wish to visit the blessed shrine of Imam Hussein in the holy city of Karbala. Not all of us have the blessing to visit the shrine of Imam Hussein, but there is still a way to experience the sights and sound of the blessed land of Karbala in the comfort of your own homes.
We call upon you, dear viewers, to support us in our financial costs to help bring the Holy Land of Karbala beaming into your homes. You can support us with a monthly donation of just $50 or £30. We are your gateway to Karbala. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Imam Hussein TV 3.
So now we are on third level, and as long as you see, we're going to go inside the room and check it out, see what's going to happen, who's inside. Here is another room. This is the biggest conference room when everybody come in, and especially you guys and our visitor, the viewer of our beloved Hussein, and especially when we can have a big meeting here and arrange what we're going to do and planning for future and for next generation, next program, and inshallah one of the great halls and great room on this building. Alhamdulillah.
Before Ali was born in the Kaaba, no other person after Ali will be born in the Kaaba. So generation after generation,
we question our daily position, seeking answers and definitions. Get the queries off your chest with Ahkam SOS.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another live show of Ahkam SOS on Imam Hussein TV 3 live. The show is available for you to send in your questions via WhatsApp, via YouTube, via Facebook, or why not give us a call on the numbers available below. Give us a call, speak to the Sheikh and get your questions answered. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikhna. How are you? You're well, inshallah? How's your day been so far? Alhamdulillah. Sheikhna, as usual, we have lots of questions coming in. First question I will start with straight away. It says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is it permissible to sit at the table for dinner or lunch while alcohol is served on the table?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. Sitting on a table or a banquet or a sufra where the alcohol is being served is not permissible at all. We have various narrations with this regard, and there's a hadith I have in my hand now from Kitab Wasa'il al-Shia.
Yes.
عن أبي عبد الله الصادق عليه السلام. He states that he was asked سئل عن المائدة إذا شرب عليها الخمر أو مسكر. That he was asked about the dinner table or sufra or a banquet in which alcohol was served, and even the intoxicants or intoxicants served on that banquet or dinner table. The Imam alayhi salam replied, حرمت المائدة. In other words, the Imam says that this ma'ida, this dinner table or sufra or banquet is haram for the one to sit and eat, because there's alcohol, there's a sin has been committed on this ni'mah, the food and the drink which is available now. So it's absolutely not permissible. One should avoid it, especially if one is invited at college, university, workplace, to basically avoid going to those dinner tables, or at least to have his own separate dinner table from them. In this way, one can actually attend.
Inshallah, thank you very much for that. Sheikhna, another question says, it is well known that wearing a gold ring or necklace or watch are forbidden for men, but can they pray with those ornaments?
Praying with ornaments for men, such as gold, of course, it is not permissible. The salah would not be accepted, it would be void and batil. And it is not allowed for men to wear gold, be it in the salah or outside the salah.
Yes.
There's a hadith from Imam Abi Abdullah Sadiq alayhi salam with this regard. He states, لا يلبس الرجل الذهب. So men should not wear gold. ولا يصلي فيه, and not to pray with that gold. لأنه من لباس أهل الجنة. Because this ornament is for those who are in paradise. أهل الجنة.
Yes.
Of course, in paradise, we don't have any more restrictions. That's haram, that's wajib. It's all to do with rewards. So Allah would reward those who haven't listened to music, to songs, would listen to heavenly songs, for example, to drink of the best drinks of the heaven, to wear gold and silver and silk for men and such like as a reward for them, being patient in this world.
Many of the muharramat in the dunya will be halal in the akhirah, right?
Would it be like the same muharram? So as I've said, the songs of the akhirah wouldn't be like the songs of dunya, using those instruments.
Correct.
So different songs, different, let's say, music. It's not to do like the dunya, or the drinks of the akhirah is not like the drinks of dunya, which is like alcohol and so forth.
Yes.
Because these are khaba'ith. These are filthy means in which people tend to go and to consume them.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. Now we have another question here. It says, if grape or its juice came to boil on its own, can we still consume it, or will it be haram as it will be alcohol, or that's what alcohol is made of?
We have a specific, again, narrations with this regard, that if you boil the grape juice, then it becomes haram to consume. But it remains tahir.
Yes.
But for now, because it's been boiled, it's haram to consume unless 2/3 of that grape juice is evaporated, and then you can consume it.
Inshallah. Thank you very much to all the viewers of the show. As we said previously, the show is live. We're accepting your calls. Why not give us a call on +44 0203 515 0199, or send in your questions via WhatsApp on +44 741 509 21555. And I believe we have a question from WhatsApp. It says, Salaam alaikum Sheikhna, inshallah you are well. How many times does one have to urinate after ejaculation before performing ghusl al-janaba? And it's a WhatsApp question.
In just once to clear the path of that part, so there's no, remainings of the janaba remains in that part. So
yes,
urination would actually cleanse the path. So basically, there's nothing left. So let's say if somebody didn't do this and suddenly after ghusl saw some liquid coming out from the parts, then of course they have to do, for example, again, that's najis.
No.
But the process of urination would clear up this issue.
Inshallah. Thank you very much for that, Sheikhna. Another question we have from WhatsApp says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ya Sheikh. Banks deal in loans and interests. Can one work in a bank? Is the salary halal according to Ayatollah Sistani, as the salary will be coming in from some of the interest rates? From WhatsApp again, the question is.
One should avoid working in the interest giving or take section. That's very important. So when it comes to that section, that department which deals with taking or giving interest, try to avoid it.
Many other departments are available.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One can do so.
Inshallah. Thank you very much for that, Sheikhna. We have another question that says, answer WhatsApp question, what's the difference between Rafida and Batri?
Rafida, which means the rejectors, those who reject the tyrants, those who oppressed Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, those who oppressed the Shia of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. So they are known to be as Rafidi because they rejected to pay allegiance with the dictatorship and ruthless leaders in their time and in the past. And we see that the history of the Shia from the beginning of at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi all the way till now, they tried to reject all the oppressors and leaders who came in the name of Islam, in the name of Khilafah and so forth. So they've rejected those oppressive leadership. With regards to the other, what was the other one?
The other one was Batri.
Batri means those who Batr means to cut, basically those who do not have the complete aqidah of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, who have some belief and cut the others, other branches. So you have to have a complete aqidah and submission when it comes to Islam. So in the deen and Allah Islam, a complete Islam is to follow, to believe in Allah Azza wa Jal, the prophets, the Quran, and then the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi and his progeny, all the way to the Imam Ajullah Faraj Sharif. So it has to be a complete aqidah. Those who came and cut bits and pieces, rejecting some and accepting some, that's the issue of the batteries.
Inshallah. Again, to all the brothers and sisters that are watching the show is live. We're taking in your questions. Alhamdulillah, we're getting lots of questions coming in through WhatsApp, through Facebook and YouTube. Why not give us a live call, get to speak to the Sheikh, get your question fully answered as you wish it to be. Give us a call on +44 0203 515 0199. Sheikh, now we have another question, and that is from WhatsApp. It says, is smoking allowed during the fast? And then it says, is vaping also allowed during the fast? As vaping has become a new trend, as we can say, in our communities.
What's important that you're not allowed to inhale thick smoke. And it seems to be both would allow you to inhale thick smoke inside your throat. And that would, of course, cause the fast to be broken and becomes invalid.
No.
So one should avoid them
both
while
of them,
fasting.
Inshallah.
As I've said, if there are, both should have thick smoke inhaled inside the throat.
Yes.
That's the issue. That makes the sawm and the fasting batil.
Batil, invalid.
So one should avoid them.
Inshallah, we have another question. It says, Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is from WhatsApp. It says, I want to know that Kitab Sulaim ibn Qais al-Hilali, how much is its authentications and how valid is it towards us?
Read the beginning. There's an English one available on the net and even printed.
Yes.
See what Imam Hussein states with this regard. There's in the beginning, the first chapter.
No.
Imam Sadiq mentions something. I can't remember exactly what it's said, but it mentions
About the kitab itself?
about the kitab, yes.
No.
Go back to the beginning pages, you'll find some of the credits mentioned with this regard.
Inshallah. We have another question, and it is from YouTube. It says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Does the Quran mention it in clear terms, that alcohol, khamr, is haram?
Yes, إنما الخمر والميسر, until it says رجس من عمل الشيطان فاجتنبوه, رجس. So it's very clear, from the tafsir of Ahlul Bayt, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he made the khamr and alcohol forbid in the beginning of the da'wah, gradually لا تقربوا الصلاة وأنتم سكارى and so forth. It was very clear, it's forbidden. And rationally, if you look at it, even today, they won't allow you to drive if you're drunk, God forbid. So the aql, the wisdom, the shara', they all agree upon that. Alcohol or anything that takes away your mind and lose your concentration due to alcohol, for example, would not be accepted. So you can't drink and drive at the same time. The aql says you can't, because you're going to crash an accident and kill people. Right. So aql and shara', aql does the hukum, rules that this is wrong, shara' would do so as well, and would consider that alcohol is also not allowed.
Thank you very much.
In line with aql, both aql and shara'. Thank you very much. Inshallah, all the brothers and sisters will stay away from such drinks and just ask such questions. I believe we have a caller. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you, brother? You're well, inshallah?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.
Alhamdulillah.
My question is in regards to car accidents. So recently, one of my friends got into a car accident, and I was in the vehicle with him. He's requesting that I change my story slightly in my witness statement or in my statement, so that he can lose his no claims bonus. To protect my friend's no claims, am I allowed to change my story a little bit, or is it haram?
Okay, inshallah, we'll get that question answered shortly. Thank you very much for your call, brother, and we'll look into this right now. Thank you, Habibi. Thank you, brother. Sheikhna, the question says he's been a witness or he's been part of an accident. The driver is a friend of his. In his statement as a witness, he says, is it possible for me to change some of the words for him not to have a loss or not to lose his bonus credits for his insurance? So inshallah, wait for your response of that question.
You see, these companies, the insurance companies, mostly are privately owned companies.
Yes.
You cannot deceive them in order to get lower insurance policy and so forth, to pay them less by, let's say, forging some documents and so forth.
Yes.
So it's not permissible, and it will be haqq upon you to pay them back one day, in this dunya or in the akhirah, because these are all privately owned companies, respected, and they are there in order to protect your, let's say, your car, yourself, whoever is in the car, for example. So you must be truthful with them and be honest, and do not say something that would, ala kulli hal, makes you responsible in the day of judgment.
Sure. Inshallah, that's answered the question for the dear brother, and I personally hope that inshallah nobody was injured in the crash, which is our most priorities. We have another question here. It says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My query is that I'm going through a very difficult time at my office. Many things are happening all at the same time. Superiors bully us relentlessly, scream at us a lot of new insane rules, have imposed us on many necessities like water, and cut off our own work time and place. Kindly tell me a dua and a way to share off my concerns with Imam al-Mahdi alayhi afdal salatu salam. How will I know if these problems will improve or become worse?
Of course, the brother or sister needs to work on two sides. Number one is to find people who can help him to mediate with this individual, the manager or the management team, to talk to them, for example, to solve the issue, bring somebody, advisors, I don't know from where, but I'm sure they can get access into some kind of advice bureau, for example,
Yes.
to help them to solve this issue. And on top of that, of course, the dua would be there. Tawassul bi Imam Zaman Ajla Faraj Sharif, I think, Dua al-Amin, one of the good ad'iyah.
Yes.
In the beginning of the Mafatih al-Jinan, which starts with Ya man tuhallu bihi uqad al-makarih.
Wow.
Just after, before or after Dua al-Tawassul,
No.
you'll find it there. That will help a lot to basically save the one from those who might oppress this individual, oppress the one, be it a tyrant or even a boss at the company. So that dua would ease the situation, inshallah. But as I've said, they have to practically seek advice, I don't know, human resources, whoever is able to provide help for this individual, this company, try to get help.
But I think the dua will be helpful for them if they recite it
as
daily or after every salah.
Every day, inshallah.
Inshallah. We do our praise, inshallah, for that individual to go through the difficulties, and inshallah it will ease on them. Again, to all the brothers and sisters, the live show, we want to hear your voices, we want to hear out your questions, we want to hear out any difficulties you have so we can answer the questions for you. Why not give us a WhatsApp chat and chat with us on +44 741 509 2155, or give us a live call on +44 0203 515 0199. Facebook is also coming in live. We're getting lots of comments from there, as well as YouTube. MashaAllah, we've got lots of viewers. We want to hear your questions. It's even one of those questions like, maybe it sounds silly, maybe it's not worth me sending it over to us. Send it over to us, because it's the same questions that you've thought of, others have thought of as well. Sometimes we get the same questions repeated over to us, but we only answer them once. And inshallah, we get to the bottom of any questions that are out there. Sheikh, now we have lots of questions coming in from YouTube. I've got a question from Facebook. Let's answer a question from Facebook. It says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Autism is a disability and its numbers are increasing, especially in boys all over the world. What cause or reason our Islam points out towards this? Why kids are born with disabilities? And are there any precautions to have children without any disabilities or autism?
I mean, this is a wide answer, needs answer for this question specifically. It's not just a few minutes answer.
No.
In overall, Allah Azza wa Jalla had made this world as a sabab musababat, cause of the cause. If you take the right route and path with regards to reaching your objectives, and of course you will achieve them without any issue. But if you don't take them in the right way, we have, for example, adab and manners for the nikah, for example. If somebody ignores them, and we have a hadith with this regard, that in some nights you can't do a nikah. It's not haram, but it's discouraged. If you do so, then you'll have, as a result, disinfect, for example, child, and so forth. So one should follow these guidelines and rules to avoid such difficulties for the children, for example, to be in purity, for example, and many of the manners and etiquettes of the nikah, and other issues as well. But in overall, Allah Azza wa Jalla would deal with those individuals who have such disabilities with easier hisab. So they get through quickly than those who have they're fit and they're healthy and they're enjoying well-being life. So it's different. The hisab will be different with those who have such difficulties. Allah Azza wa Jalla is wise, is hakim, is just, is merciful, would not neglect His creation like this. It's not a mess. Everything has been counted for.
No.
So one should basically not to lose hope in Allah Azza wa Jal. And if something happens, then of course one should submit to Allah Azza wa Jal and tawakkul on Allah, and continue reading dua and do your best medically, physically, all the means to cure that innocent child. Inshallah. But at the same time, submit to Allah Azza wa Jal.
No. And whatever comes from God, it's great and it's a gift.
Yeah, because the reward in the akhir would be greater and greater.
Sah. And it's one of the tests of the dunya, I believe, as well.
Exactly, yes.
Thank you very much, Sheikh, for that question. To all the brothers and sisters, please stay seated. We're going to give you a short video of how you can send your questions over to us. It won't be too long. Please stay seated. And after that, we'll hope to see you again with lots of questions coming in. Thank you.
I have a question regarding keeping pictures of scholars.
Is it permissible
at
to
home.
plant trees by or
What
over
Islam
the
establish
graves?
based on peace and
Is it
non-violence?
permissible to collect donations for charity projects from
Is it permitted to consume canned food imported from non-Muslim countries?
Is there an issue for men looking at non-Muslim women?
To have your questions answered live, call in on +44 2035 150199 or WhatsApp us on +44 7415 092155. Alternatively, you can also email us on Ahkam SOS at imamhussein.tv.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another segment of Live Ahkam SOS on Imam Hussein TV 3. Inshallah, nobody has gone anywhere, but you've prepared your questions to send them over to us via Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, or why not give us a live call and get your questions answered straight away. Sheikhna, assalamu alaikum again, welcome back. We've got a question here, and it says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is it permissible for clothing or garments of a musalli to be made of parts of a dead corpse, of an animal whose blood gushes out when they are slaughtered?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. No, it is not permissible. The libas al-musal should be clean, should be tahir, should be halal. You can't take the skin of a dead animal on the street, even if it's a sheep or a cow,
No.
which died naturally, for example, without being slaughtered in the halal way. You just take the skin and make it a jacket and so forth. You can't pray with it. Also, ulama would also, some as ihtiyat wujubi, obligatory precaution, would mention that even the garment should be made from the non-gushing blood animals, such as snake,
Yes.
or even crocodile, for example. You can't you can't wear it in the salah, basically.
No.
Even this type of garments, so try to avoid them in salah. As I've said, if it's halal, slaughtered, this sheep or this cow should be fine. The skin is halal, you can
There's
use
no
it.
problem with
You
that.
can eat and also wear the skin.
Yes.
There's no issue with it.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Sheikh. Now we have a question which I believe has come all the way from Australia, which is good to hear that all our viewers are from all around the world. It's not just from the UK. We are your gateway to Karbala. The show is running, all our shows are running. We get questions from all around the world, and inshallah our services are available for everybody. It says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What is the ruling of eating the meat of kangaroo, which is found mostly in Australia by Ayatollah Sistani?
The Sayyid mentions that as an obligatory precaution, ihtiyat wujubi, not a fatwa, but as an obligation precaution.
Yes.
It is not permissible. Because you see, they have to find an evidence which says this is haram. If they don't find, they do ihtiyat in this case. Because this type of animal is not a usual animal in which was available in that time, be eaten by people, for example. So they take precaution that do not eat it, do not touch it. It's not permissible to consume, to eat it.
No.
So for best, one should avoid such animals.
Inshallah. Inshallah, inshallah. I believe there are many other options. Lots of people are going towards becoming vegetarians and vegans. We have some more questions coming in from YouTube, which is really good to hear because we want to see everybody participating and watching the show. It says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I really enjoy watching the show. It answers many of the questions. My question is, what happens if I accidentally recite the wrong dhikr in sujood?
Just repeat the correct dhikr, that's fine. There's no issue with it. Just
so
repeat.
It's straightforward.
Yeah, it's fine. Even if you say Subhana Rabbil Azimi, Subhana Rabbil Ala wa bihamdih. It's correct, and that should be fine, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. We've got another WhatsApp question. It says, someone was making a sermon about who are the Sahabas. And in it, he says Ahlul Bayt can also be known as Sahaba. I didn't understand that because I know Sahaba are not ma'soomeen, but Ahlul Bayt are ma'soomeen. So there's far difference. Please, what do you say about that? It's a WhatsApp question.
Sometimes for the case of argument with the non-Shia, those who consider the Sahaba are, the best, the most just, they did what they did for the cause of Islam. They stood the Prophet ﷺ, and we don't deny it. There are Shuhada Badr, Shuhada Uhud,
which are of the Sahaba.
Of course, best types of the Sahaba. Of course, we don't deny that. But our issue is about after the departure of Rasulullah ﷺ. When he passed away, the Quran says, "Inqalabtum ala aqab." So things changed after the demise of the Prophet ﷺ.
Yes.
The Sahaba were Sahaba, but now they became against the Prophet and his household.
Yes.
And the first thing they did, attacked the door of his progeny, his Ahlul Bayt, Bayt Ali, Fatima, Hassan, and Hussein alayhi salam. So, because they are not infallible, Sahaba. So they could commit crime, they could commit sin, as they did before in the era of Jahiliyyah.
No.
With the confession of their ulama that many of the Sahaba they used to drink,
yes,
used to
it's
fornicate,
available.
and so forth.
Lots of these hadith are available.
Why not do the same thing afterwards in a different way?
Sah.
And even in the worst way, in the worst case, by attacking the door of the Prophet's family.
So it
and of
clearly
course,
shows
Quran shows clearly the Ayat al-Tathir that Ahlul Bayt are a purified, thorough purification.
No.
And they're different than Sahaba. Sahaba companions, they are the flesh and the blood of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Lahmi wadamuhum dami in Hadith al-Kasa.
No.
So there's no doubt they are the top on the list of the Muslims.
So they're uncomparable.
لا يقاس على محمد
No,
أحد,
it's
as I've said before.
uncomparable. It's uncomparable.
No, you can't compare them. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Sheikhna, and it clarifies. It's going straight away to the point. We've got another question here, and it says, when is a girl considered an adult from the viewpoint of Sharia? And the question is from Ayatollah Sistani. What's his viewpoint?
The Sayyid mentions, and many ulama would agree upon this fact, that the girl would become baligha and reach the age of adolescence by completing 9 lunar years of age.
Yes. So
when she is entering the year 10 of her age, she becomes baligha. And for the solar calendar, I mean, this is giving very nice comparison, that if she is about 8 years and 8 months and 20 days, then she becomes baligha. Roughly, with the solar calendar. But in overall, by completing the 9 lunar year, she becomes ala kulli hal baligha.
Inshallah. Thank you very much for that, Sheikhna. We have a question here, and it's something I think we all pass by. You know, we have lots of friends coming over at times, especially in Shahr Ramadan. Some people have a sleep in the afternoons because they can't sleep at night. And the question says, is it permissible to wake up someone who is sleeping for salah without his prior permission?
If it's on the basis of promoting good, يعني أمر بالمعروف in overall, with that title, yes, it's permissible.
Yes.
In this case, yes, you want to encourage, promote salah, promote the good. For this purpose, you go and you wake them up for salah. Yeah, why not?
Inshallah, all brothers and sisters will wake up their friends and families and their partners whenever they're sleeping to get them to pray on salah time. We have another question. It says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is it permissible to copy, sell, or publish a book without the permission of its author or publisher?
If there is a copyright for the author or for the publication, then one, as an obligatory precaution, احتياط وجوبي, should seek the permission prior to printing, copying, and so forth.
Inshallah, thank you very much for that, Sheikhna. We've got some more WhatsApp questions, and it says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We've read that question. We have another question here. It says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ayah in Quran says we have made Quran easy for you. Then why do a normal person cannot understand it fully without referring to hadiths from WhatsApp?
You see, we have ayat muhkam and mutashabih. Muhkam are the ayat which are very clear verses. And mutashabih are the ones which needs interpretation, in other words, in which you have to go back to the tafsir and the hadith and so forth. In overall, the Quran is made easy. قل هو الله أحد. Say Allah is one.
No.
أو ليس كمثله شيء. Nothing is like him. When it comes to the basics one, the mains of the Aqidah, it's very clear. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I start with the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful. These are very clear ayat. Of course, if you want to, dig through the main other meanings, for example.
Yes.
Of course, you can go, but in overall, it's not written in a, very complicated, in like a philosophical method.
No.
In which nobody can understand except those who teach it, for example. It's, easy to understand, but of course there are verses you need to go back to the exegesis and the tafsir and the narrations with this regard. But in overall, yes, the Quran made it simple and easy to read,
yes, to
understand as a first contact with the Quran, with the Holy Quran. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatul qadr. It was revealed in Laylatul Qadr. Straightforward.
It's very straightforward.
Now, what are the other meanings of Laylatul Qadr? Who is Laylatul Qadr?
No.
You have a hadith with regard. But as a first contact, it's straightforward.
Inshallah. Thank you very much for that, Sheikh. Now, to all the viewers of the show is running in live. We want to hear your voices. We want to hear your questions. We want to hear any difficulties that you're going through. Maybe it's halal or haram. Maybe I have to repay it, maybe it's invalid. Why not send your question over to us? You can send us questions via WhatsApp, via Facebook, via YouTube, or give us a live call, getting to speak to the Sheikh himself and getting your questions answered straight away. We have a question and it says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How is puberty confirmed in a male?
There are 2 or 3 signs with this regard for the male. Number one is to see wet dream, as we say,
no.
Ejaculation and so forth, and to see thick hair on his parts, thick hair, not thin hair, thick hair, exactly, and the age of, I think, completion of the age 15. Usually the bulugh signs would be defined before 15, usually.
No.
13, 14, 15, they would see these signs, thick hair, ejaculation and so forth. So that's the means of bulugh for the boys. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. We have another question. It says, are playing wrestling, boxing, taekwondo or karate as a sport allowed?
If there's no severe harm as a result, loss of limb, for example, loss of organ, for example, then it's just a sport, it should be fine.
Inshallah. Thank you very much for that, Sheikh. I believe because these sports are becoming more and more trendy and they're more available. We have another question here that's come, and it says, Salamun alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If the father is financially able and he has a son who needs to get married, is it obligatory for the father to provide financial support from his own to help his son get married? There are fathers who marry a second wife and a third, but do not help their sons to get married on their first wives, and justify their actions and on the basis that the son must become self-sufficient. What is the opinion of Islamic law on this? And this is a problem that lots of brothers are facing in the new generations.
If it's not possible for the son to arrange for his marriage, to afford for his marriage somehow, and he only relies on his father's income and, let's say, wealth, in this case, and he actually urgently needs that marriage, otherwise he might fall into the act of sin, datings and so forth.
No.
In this case, it becomes obligation, wajib, upon the father to arrange and help for the marriage of his son, or even his daughter.
No. Thank you very much for that, Sheikhna, and I have some good news. I believe we have a live caller. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, can you hear us?
Alaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum, please give on your questions.
I've got a question. I've started a diet and I've done questions that I will not be eating rice, and I did eat rice, and I'm not sure whether I should pay kafara or if I could carry on, or I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you very much for your question, and we'll get that answered very shortly for you. Sheikh, the question is straightforward. It says the sister has started a diet. She's promised herself, or one of the policies of the diet is not to eat rice. she's eaten rice. She wants to know, can she carry on the diet or not?
Initially, if she used the correct words for the qasam, which is wallahi billahi, tallahi, for example, and also if she did break this qasam, this oath, and let's say she ate the rice, she needs to pay or feed 10 paupers or 10 miskin.
To pay, so she's got to pay kafara.
Yeah,
for this.
kafara, 10 miskin, 10 faqir.
Naam. Inshallah, that answers the question for you, sister. Keep on going, inshallah. And if you have any other questions, why not get back to us and we'll get them questions. We'll get those questions answered for you. We have another question, and it says, I took some money from my deceased father. How do I repay him now as he's passed away?
Did he took this money when his father passed away or before he passes away?
So it seems like, let's say he's taken the money from his father before he passes away.
I mean, of course, he needs to get his father's. Well, he died now. على كل حال. You can't take your parents' money without their permission. You have to get their pleasure, their satisfaction with this regard. In overall, على كل حال, it's difficult to answer because now he has passed away.
Yes.
And whatever money is left, it becomes the heirs and the inheritors' wealth, which means it has to be spread over
between the brothers, sisters, and the mother.
Exactly. But this happened during the life of the father, so that's different. على كل حال, we have to see.
Inshallah. We'll come back to this question. I believe it's very important because it's based on the question that you answered. And it says here, Assalamu alaikum, please, when the Sheikh was giving an answer of the question based on the Sahaba, he says some of them go forth and destroy or burn the house of Fatima Zahra, salamullahi alayha. Please, can he specify who are they, those people? And it's a WhatsApp question.
There's a book, a non-Shia book. I'm trying to remember the name of the book. That he mentions very clearly, and this is only in our books, in the Sunnah book as well, mentioned that one of the regrets of Abu Bakr, he said that later لم أكشف بيت فاطمة, because what they have, that yes, they went to the house of Ali and Fatima to see if they have money left, anything from the Bayt al-Mal, for example, to search, just to search. So they admit to the fact that they broke into the house. Now, their own scenario that they never killed, they never crushed, and so forth. But for them to confess to this extent, it's a credit for us that there was an attack on the door of Fatima alayhi salam.
No, salam Allah alayha.
Also, another source of Al-Sunnah mentions that Umar hit the belly of Fatima alayhi salam until she miscarried. As I've said, I can't remember the source, but I've read it in their source. I can't remember exactly which source, but they have mentioned all these attacks and breaking into the house of Fatima alayhi salam, but they won't accept it.
No,
because that's against their aqidah.
That
demolishes the
whole idea
of the khilafah and so forth.
Thank you very much for that, Sheikhna. Inshallah, that's answered the question of the viewer, and it really makes me happy. It proves that some of the viewers are paying attention and questioning some of the questions the answers that are coming in, which is great to hear. We have some questions coming in from YouTube, and it says, Salamun alaikum, can a female revert marry a Muslim man without her father's permission?
It depends if their parents, let's say, in their norms, in their customary, that they don't really get married. They get married without the consent from their parents.
Yes.
As we have it in the West, that the girl reaches the age of 15, 16, she leaves the house.
No.
With her boyfriend, for example. Or let's say when she's 18 with her husband, for example. And there's no consent needed from the parents. She chooses her own partner or spouse at the end of the day. If this is the case, then she doesn't need any permission. Otherwise, she needs Yes.
No, thank you very much for that, Sheikhna. To all the viewers of the show is live, and why not send your questions over? Why not get to speak to the Sheikh and get your questions answered? You can send in your questions via WhatsApp, via Facebook, and via YouTube. The show is running in live, waiting for your questions. We're getting lots of questions in, and inshallah, this question is one of the viewers. It says, Salaam alaikum from YouTube. Salaam alaikum. Also, can we purify a washing machine that does not have any ayn of najasa by running a cycle while it's empty?
If this washing machine, even if it's a public washing machine in the West, it remains tahir and pure.
No.
You don't need to wash it. Why? Unless you have seen impurity, najasa inside it, yeah, that's a different issue. Otherwise, you don't have to wash it. Because كل شيء لك طاهر. Everything for you is pure and tahir.
No.
حتى تعلم أنه نجس أو خبيث بعينه.
No.
Until you're certain it's najis and pure. Then of course you have to wash it.
Then you'll have to wash it and
otherwise,
the najasa of it.
Everything's tahir.
Inshallah, and I believe we're coming down to the last two questions of the show before we end it off. And it says, Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can we spread water on our face for wudu after washing our face using both hands, or do we have to use only one hand?
No, you just use one hand, your right hand, to wash your face basically.
Yes.
So you rinse as much as you want water, and then you make the niyyah that if it's the first wash and then or second wash. So it depends on your niyyah, your intention. So I mean, maximum you can do 2 washes. I mean, with 2 intentions of, you know, that's my first wash and then second wash. The third is not permissible. And with one hand, right hand, that's it.
So if they did the third one, will they have to dry their faces and start again?
Some would say that wudu would be batil. So yeah, the third one.
So what's needed to be done? If you've done the first, you've done the second, and
the third is haram.
The third is haram.
It's not permissible. And some would say it's batil if they do the third wash. So
it's haram as in you'll get a sin for it, or it's
of course
it's haram to do
haram,
3.
yes.
Okay, so what would they have to do? They'll have to dry themselves and start again?
As I've said, some ulama would say that it's batil, then they have to repeat. According to their opinion. Otherwise, it's mushkil.
Inshallah. Sheikhna, thank you very much. It's been a great show. We've had lots of questions. I believe the viewers have enjoyed the show as much as we have, as well as our team. The show has been speaking about, I think we have lots of topics. We had some Sahaba topics, we had some ghusl topics, we had some wudu topics, and this is what the show is for. We're open to any questions. We haven't said this week is for this topic. No, the show is open for every topic. Any last thoughts, Sheikhna, before we end the show for today?
Inshallah, we try to read more about the history of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam, Tariq Ahlul Bayt, to understand what happened exactly. So we try to read to be able to refute the enemies of Ahlul Bayt's arguments, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. I believe there are many enemies of Ahlul Bayt sitting there and waiting for us to speak out. But inshallah, we'll be poking them in the eye by our questions and getting all the answers, so that when we sit in our small communities between our friends, we know how to answer them. We have come to the last seconds of the show. I would like to thank all the viewers of watching the show. I'd like all the people that sent in their questions. If your question was sent and we didn't answer it, we'll have to push it over to the next segment. And if you haven't sent your question in, make it ready, type it up, think of it, and we will see you inshallah in the next show. Thank you very much. Goodbye for now.
We question our daily position, seeking answers and definitions. Gather queries of your chest with Ahkam SOS.
As lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, we all have an inclination to the epitome of love. When we rejoice, when times are hard, whatever stage of life we are in, we all yearn to be in one special place. We all wish to visit the blessed shrine of Imam Hussein in the holy city of Karbala. Not all of us have the blessing to visit the shrine of Imam Hussein, but there is still a way to experience the sights and sound of the blessed land of Karbala in the comfort of your own homes.
We call upon you, dear viewers, to support us in our financial costs to help bring the Holy Land of Karbala beaming into your homes. You can support us with a monthly donation of just $50 or £30. We are your gateway to Karbala. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Imam Hussein TV 3.
So now we are on 3rd level, and as long as you see, we're going to go inside the room and check it out, see what's going to happen, who's inside. Here is another room. This is the biggest conference room when everybody come in, and especially you guys and our visitor, the viewer of our Ahkam Hussein, and especially when we can have a big meeting here and arrange what we're going to do and planning for future and for next generation, next program, and inshallah one of the great halls and great room on this building. Alhamdulillah.